Damn. So, I just happened to watch the latest episode of AEW, which I believe was their Fight for the Fallen, or Fight for the Fallen is coming up. I don't really know with this company. But basically, so, if you follow good old All Elite Wrestling, you know, the promotion that's owned by the billionaire son of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who has as his executive vice presidents, let's see, Cody Rhodes, the son of the legendary American Dream Dusty Rhodes, the Young Bucks, or as one of my childhood wrestling heroes, Jim Cornette, calls them, the Young Fucks. Then you got Kenny Omega, who Jim Cornette refers to as Twinkle Toes McFingerbang, which I always liked. So, these guys all apparently booked for Chris Jericho. They booked this thing. Okay, so basically, we've all taken like mythology growing up, right? You know, specifically Greek mythology. Or at least enough of us watched the Sci-Fi Channel as a kid and saw the show Hercules. So basically, what AEW is currently doing, right, is they're doing this whole Inner Circle versus Pinnacle thing. And they've made it so MJF is no longer Chris Jericho's like right-hand man or understudy. They're now feuding. And so to tie in the whole mythology thing, they decided to do this thing called, instead of the 5 labors or 6 labors of Hercules or 12 labors, I don't fucking remember. Math was never my strong suit, and neither was mythology, by the way. But they decided to do something called the 5 labors of Jericho, which I think is a stupid name, but hey, what do I know? I just watch wrestling. I don't actually book the shit. But, so what they did was, basically, every week, in order for Jericho to get his rematch with MJF, whatever the fuck that stands for, I don't know. Basically, he's got to go through like 5 gimmick matches, right? Because they had that whole Blood and Guts match, which was essentially War Games, but they can't call it War Games because, you know, WWE owns that. So, good luck with getting your father's trademarks back, Cody, in case you ever watch this. But, again, essentially, it's called the 5 Labors of Jericho. So, their first night was a chairs match where he had to work with, what the fuck was his name? I can't remember, Ty Dillinger in WWE, Shawn Spears, Britney Spears, I don't know. Somebody named fucking Spears, who apparently is managed by Tully Blanchard, of all people. Which I didn't know Tully was actually still alive. Glad to see you're still around, Tully. So basically, they did the whole chairs match, right? And they thought that'd get a huge rating, and surprisingly enough, it didn't. In fact, during that chairs match, Spears hardly used the chair. Even though the stipulation was he could use the chair and Jericho couldn't. He barely used the chair and then got hit somehow in the head with the chair and caused him to lose. But that is not why I'm doing this video here tonight. The reason I'm actually doing this video is because the next week they did a match, a death match. I believe that was on the same night they did that whole Texas death match with Jon Moxley and Lance Archer, but that's a different time for a different video, or a different video for a different time, I should say. So, somehow they got Nick Gage. Now, if you don't know who Nick Gage is, he's the leader of the Murder, Death, Kill Gang, I don't fucking know, which is a terrible name for a gang, by the way. And they did a death match where they literally had a guy who's been convicted in federal court of robbing a bank with no weapon and no mask because he's a fucking deathmatch dipshit. They somehow decided to book him. How they even got him on a plane to get to Texas for this match, I'm kind of surprised, because I figure as a convicted felon, you probably can't really, fly. But somehow they got him to Texas, and they booked him against Jericho in a match where he literally... Now, if you know anything about old Nicky Gage, I apologize saying this to one of my childhood heroes, Sabu. He's basically a bald albino Sabu who can't actually work, aka wrestle. And unlike Sabu, who knew psychology, old Nicky, he don't. So his weapon of choice, his two weapons of choice actually, are light tubes, fluorescent light tubes, and a pizza cutter. Of all fucking things. Which, I gotta be honest, I always thought was just a blunt instrument that you use to, like, smash the pizza into fucking slices. Apparently you can actually cut with the fucking thing, because he cut Jericho multiple times. Including, while they did a picture-in-picture, where one of their major sponsors was running an ad for them. And what sponsor, you might ask? Domino's motherfucking Pizza. Tony Khan, I'm talking to you. I know you won't ever watch this video, and apparently you like get pissed at Botchamania whenever they play videos. And don't think I'm some WWE mark, because I got plenty of material to use on those fucking bastards too. But, number one, okay? Tony, lifelong wrestling fan to another lifelong wrestling fan. Okay? Lifelong wrestling fan to apparently another lifelong wrestling fan. I'm just not the son of a billionaire who owns a soccer team and a football team, both of which apparently suck and can't win games. But I digress. When you book a hardcore match, you know, street fight, last man standing, falls count anywhere, death matches, you don't book them on national television where one of your biggest spot and have them do a spot where one of them cuts the other guy with a pizza cutter while one of your biggest sponsors, one of the biggest pizza chains in the world, is paying you money. Because, surprisingly, Domino's doesn't like that. Now, the good news is, if you're an AEW fan or working for AEW or in any way affiliated with All Elite Wrestling, is Domino's, for some reason, hasn't pulled their money yet. But how many times can you get away with this? Huh, Tony? Now, apparently the next match of this whole Labors of Jericho thing is going to be a match where Jericho can only win by using a move off the top rope against Juventud Guerrera, of all people, who also I was pretty sure was, I don't know, dead or in Mexican prison, or I didn't even know who he was still around. But, yeah, so. But what boggles my mind about this whole Labors of Jericho thing, I mean, it's better than the rest of the Pinnacle Inner Circle storyline. Like when y'all all broke out into song and dance that one night, and I nearly wanted to throw my fucking remote through the television. Yeah, that was... God, I think I even tried to watch that on mute just to see how bad it was, and I couldn't take it. But what you should do if you were going to do this whole Labors of Jericho thing, which again, I'm pretty sure it was about 12 Labors of Hercules, not 5, but apparently you can't find enough dumbass opponents on the indie scene to work for you, to work with Jericho, is you should have done the Juventud Guerrera match first, because that's going to be the least violent one. Then you ramp it up with the chairs match with, what's his name? Again, Sean Spears, Britney Spears, somebody named Spears. The guy that used to be fucking Dillinger in WWE, I should say. That would be your second match. Then you do whatever you're going to do for your third and fourth matches, which they can't be any worse than this one was. And then you save this one for last. You don't put it on first or second, numbnuts. So, I really don't know what to say. You can watch it on YouTube. Surprisingly, everybody that recorded it, they all somehow, did tricks and took the Domino's Pizza spot out. Which, by the way, just stop with both to you and WWE, stop with the picture-in-picture shit. Just go to a normal commercial, because you can't see anything or hear anything on the picture-in-picture thing. I'm still seeing the fucking advertisement that's the majority of the screen. So just go to a normal fucking commercial. That way, if you do dumbass spots, like have Nick Gage randomly cut a motherfucker with a goddamn pizza cutter, then nobody sees it other than the audience, which means your sponsors won't see it, because if you keep doing shit like this, I'm sure dear old dad will get tired of paying for it. Right, Shao Kahn? Which, by the way, sounds like you should be a Mortal Kombat villain instead of, the owner of a soccer team and football team. So, anyway, I ain't got much to say about this match. You can also, again, you can listen to Cornette's rant on it, or you can watch other people rant on it. I still like AEW. I still think it's a great organization. If I was a wrestler myself, I'd much rather work for them than WWE. At least I get to own my name and my YouTube channel and fucking Twitch and all that shit, which WWFE took away from their talent, because, that company's a fucking billionaire shithole. So, as always, in closing, no matter what, stay true to yourself, and with whatever you do, never ever be afraid to get carried the fuck away.